Huffman coming to a comfortable lead, coming out of 2. He's got about 8 car lengths, put it half a second over Dwayne Vincent as Chad Cole works the number 2 spot.
Time is running out. Vincent's got it. Cole wants it to the wall. Chevrolet puts the bumper to the 13 of Vincent. Vincent not backing down. He's in second. You know, when we got 1 car on the bottom, the 10 cars.
Where we have the Martinsville Speedway tonight, Dakota, 200 laps. And again, this race is sponsored by Inside Sim Racing and partnered with Derek Spear Designs. Dakota, welcome aboard.
Thank you, sir. Glad to be here. And when we talk the Real Sim Racing Asphalt Assault Series, you got to start by talking about Kentucky. That's where the highlights were. That was last week where C.J. LeVere managed to steal the win with Stephen Marinak in second. Glenn Campbell came home in third after starting 27th and leading 40 laps. Jose Gonzalez fourth, and Doug Roth rounded out the top 5 after starting 19th.
6th was David Lanza. 7th, Scott Brotherton. Stephen Almendo would finish 8th. Clint Monahan 9th. And 10th would be Jimmy North. So heading into tonight's event at Martinsville, the point standings. Mr. Marinak taking over the board in top position. Matt LaCrosse would be second. 9 back. Eric Brundy's third. 10 back. And Clint Monahan would be in the 30s in fourth. Brian Harvey is 5th in the points.
Joey Hilton's in 6th, 35 points behind, and 3 points behind 4th place car. You'll have White Wolf Jr. 7th. He's about 35 behind. C.J. LeVere 8th. Rhett McBride 9th. He's 41 out. And Jimmy North sitting in the 10th position in the point standings.
So there's the top 10 in the points. We're going to step aside, let the anthem take its place, and when we return, the lineup, and hopefully some countdown to green track facts and some notes for the race. See you in a minute.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave.
Hello and welcome back to ETV, powered by the HD Radio Network's live coverage of the Real Sim Racing Asphalt Assault Series live here at Martinsville Speedway. Now let's go down trackside for the most famous words in Real Sim Racing for the command.
Gentlemen, start your engines!
And now row 1, the man who's quickest in qualifying, Bobby Terrell, putting that 7 machine on the front. The 10 of John Abbott was sought on the outside.
And starting in row number 2, Bo McGuire and David Lanza.
Row number 3 will be the 44 of Glenn Campbell. To his outside right, the pole or the points leader, Stefan Marinac.
Eric Arnold going to make up the next row, row number 4 in the 7th position, and Matt Lacrosse rolling off in the 8th position.
Row 8 is Nick Silver in 9th. 10th is John Milwane.
Row number 6 will be made up of C.J. LeVere and Mark Bratcher.
Row number 7 will be the 41 of Hunter Davis, and to his outside, Stephen Almendo.
Row number 8 will be Wyatt Wolf in the 15th position and Nathan Bowers in the 16th position.
Row number 9 will be Keith Brooks Jr. and Adam Roberts.
Row number 10 is Douglas White, the 12 machine, and Jimmy North in the 84.
Row 11, 21st quickest, John Wilco. To his outside, the 67 of Brian Harvey.
Row 12, Brett McBride and Clint Monahan.
Row 13 will be the 92 of Jason Lester and the 43 of Doug Roth.
Row 14, J. Randall Watkins and Augusto Gabaldoni.
Row number 15, untimed, Eric Brundys, and to his outside, the man out of Puerto Rico, Jose Gonzalez.
Row 16, Wyatt Wolf Jr. and Joey Hilton.
And the last row for this evening, making up 34 drivers, the 33rd spot will belong to Stephen Herring, and to his outside right door will be the 48 of Frank Kuntz. So 34 drivers here tonight at Martinsville Speedway, Dakota, as the pace exits out of turn 2 onto the backstretch. Got a long way to go, 200 laps.
It is going to be a long one, and especially with short tracks, with a short track. But here we go. Pace car's off in the 7 car. Bobby Terrell gets set to lead him to the green flag here.
Bobby Terrell, John Abbott, the first row there, coming to the green. The Muscle Milk Chevrolet in the next quick Chevrolet to the outside. Abbott with a slow start, and Bobby Terrell will lead the field of 34 into turns 1 and 2 for the first time tonight. As we got a crash in turn 2. It's the 84 of Jimmy North back in about 19th position. No caution, though, Dakota.
Yeah, and he's rolling. He's still rolling, but he's a little off the pace and stuck on the outside lane now. Is behind him. They're racing for position. Augusto Gabaldoni and Doug Roth going at it for, I believe that is 28 or 26th to 25th there, as they now work underneath that 84 of Jimmy North.
Meanwhile, John Abbott, the man who started on the outside pole, has fallen all the way back to about 7th position where the 29 machine runs underneath him. John Abbott struggling on the outside here, Dakota, trying to get down, no room. He's fallen back in 3 laps from 2nd now to 8th as the 23 machine now works to the inside. And we've got a crash in turn 4. And it looks like Eric Arnold, and that's going to bring the caution out.
Yeah, Greg Netherwood actually throwing the caution. I thought I heard another incident somewhere, but we'll look at that. Looks like it starts with Eric Arnold, lap 3, position 3, heading through turns 3 and 4, and it looks like he makes contact there with Bo McGuire, spinning McGuire sideways. They'll make contact again, but we'll check up a lot of the field there.
And officials have deemed that wreck necessary to throw out the caution there, Dakota. You know, Eric Arnold did a fabulous job getting that car straightened out. He's running about 6 right now, but he was working the inside there, and turns 3 and 4. Looked like he was trying to go up underneath and make a pass on the 50 of Bo McGuire, and it just didn't work out.
Definitely it just did not work out, but fortunately enough, official flagman of Real Sim Racing Asphalt Assault Series here tonight, Greg Netherwood, was able to throw the caution there.
So again, welcome to ETV's live coverage of Martinsville Speedway. I'm Michael Keaton. Dakota Ehrman up in the booth with me tonight, and down on pit road, Chad Dalton. And Chad, Martinsville Speedway, man, half of a mile racetrack, paperclip looking style. Pit road's going to be quite busy tonight, as we've already seen some guys down there on pit road now.
Hey guys, Stefan Marinac just came down pit road. He came in the 5th position, and he is having a little bit of an electric issue right here. Not sure what's going on with 29. We'll have to keep an eye on that. A couple cars came down to fix a little bit of damage that they've already received and get a little bit of tires and gas there on this extra long pit road here at the Martinsville Speedway.
Yeah, and extra long, and 35 mile an hour pit road speed there. It is long, Dakota. And, you know, Chad mentioned Marinac. You know, guys, Marinac is #1 in points right now. And on the racetrack, Marinac's sitting in 30th. And as Chad said, a little bit of electrical problems this night could go from good to bad.
He's currently 1 lap down, or will be shown 1 lap down, and he's just now getting the car back rolling. So he could be 1 or 2 laps down here, all the way back in 32nd currently.
Of course, Marinac, part of that Fearless Racing team. I want to talk to you about some of the comers tonight here at Martinsville. Nathan Bowers is the most consistent finisher so far this season. He's had finishes of 8th, 7th, and 12th in the last 3 races. Rhett McBride also consistently on the lead lap, finished 11th, 14th, and 16th in the last 3 races. So good job for those comers here tonight, Dakota. Can they keep up the momentum?
I think we'll have to keep our eye on that, but some of the goers tonight, Eric Arnold's on a roller coaster. 1 week to good, 1 week is good, 1 week's bad, good, bad. It seems like it goes back and forth, and he's already made contact here to bring out the first caution. So Eric Arnold probably back on the roller coaster that's going downhill right now. John Abbott has finished 23rd and 20th in the last 2 weeks. He's another goer, and we'll have to keep our eye on him to see if he can actually, you know, maybe prove the professor wrong here.
As the pace car is now going to be given the 1 lap to go here this time by. They'll line them up side by side. Hopefully get the thing sorted out. As Jimmy North still down on pit road, now 2 laps down. White Wolf Sr., the man who sits 34th, being shown 3 laps down, Dakota, as the pace car lights are now off, and we're going to see the green flag.
And it's going to be Bobby Terrell leading them to the green flag here as we work through the backstretch, getting set, the pace car getting set to dive off, and Terrell getting ready to punch the throttle, put the throttle to the floor, and go as he's going to work to 3 and 4 now. The pace car is off. He's just set for the green flag anytime now. He's just got to come off this corner and hit the gas pedal as hard as he possibly can, and he's away.
Green flag in the air. The 7 car, Bobby Terrell, out front. Of course, Bobby nowhere to be found in the top 10 of things, but neither is David Lanza, who sits second behind him. And how about this? Bo McGuire, who was in the top 10 last week, Dakota, is now out of it, and he's trying to claw his way back in as the 4th place and 5th place car got a little bit of rubbing racing going on.
Yeah, and looking back here, they're going at it pretty good. It's Hunter Davis now working underneath. Looks like Nick Silver for 3rd position. Caution's out.
Looks like this one's going to be in turn 2, guys. Looks like Eric Arnold, Nathan Bowers. Again, for the 2nd time tonight, Eric Arnold in trouble. Bowers just gets into the left side, quarter panel coming out of the corner, and then he gets right back into it again, Dakota, and that's where most of the damage is sustained at in Eric Arnold's car.
Yeah, and he hit the inside wall a little bit too. That definitely won't help. But Eric Arnold, we just talked about him being a goer. He's now been involved in 2 cautions.
Remember this, we're going to go to Chad about Eric Arnold. Chad, last week, Eric Arnold, the 20-year-old out of Granger, Indiana, 10th in the points. This week, nowhere to be found in the top 10. His car's down on pit road, 28th position. The crew is struggling right now.
Yeah, guys, he's coming around at 35 mile per hour pit road speed, awful slow compared to going really fast out on the racetrack, but his car actually looks okay. A little bit of damage on the left side around the driver's door area, but he's definitely going to bring that to the attention of the crew here. Try to get as much fixed, under caution here, and hopefully that will get him back out and hopefully be competitive. No one else on pit road right now, however, though.
15 laps into an event here so far. 28 on the lead lap. The last one being the 47 of Eric Arnold. Newlywed Eric Arnold, in fact. Just recently married. Congratulations to him. But John Wilco will be the man who sits 29th in that 62 machine, Dakota, 1 lap down, and he's got quite a battle. Frank Kuntz, Marinac, all fighting to get their lap back.
Yeah, but he is a lucky dog currently. He will put himself, I want to say, back on the lead lap here. as John Wilco now goes around the field, around the pace car, and he'll just go back up to catch the rear of the field and go around the two slow cars there that have to let the pace car go. And man, John Wilco sideways just trying to run down the field here.
So while we're in the early stages, let's go ahead and talk about Professor's Pick. Remember, we're at Martinsville, the paperclip track, one of the most hardest tracks, I believe, in the NASCAR circuit. Just over barely half of a mile racetrack, Dakota, with nearly no degrees of banking. Martinsville's about being out in front and staying out in front, where we've seen that 7 so far, 16 laps, now 17 on the board. Stay out front and keeping his nose clean. The track is bound to get congested under 1 or 2 cautions, and it takes that accordion effect into the turns where if someone hits somebody in the bumper, somebody's going to hit somebody else in the bumper, someone's going to hit them in the bumper, and of course the accordion effect, as George Wood likes to point out and call it. There will be no doubt, a big one tonight, as we've seen a couple of small ones, but the big one's yet to come, and those that can qualify in the top 5 will get that single file ride for the whole race pretty much and keep the car clean. So look for Bobby Terrell, the man who's out front, Lanza, Bo McGuire, Silver, Hunter Davis, some of those guys getting clean air early on, Dakota.
I have to agree with you there. Clean air going to be kind of important. I think being up front right now is important. But what you got to watch out for here is, and I think you mentioned it, you know, chain reactions, big checkups. That going to be dangerous here. If braking points change just a little bit between, you know, every other driver, it'll definitely, you know, screw some people up. You know, I mean, if they're going to go in the corner, somebody in front of them is braking a little early, and they you know, they don't compensate for that, there's going to be a wreck most likely because they're going to run straight to the back of the car and turn it around.
Chad Dalton, who's been running up and down the very, very long pit road here tonight. Chad, what's most of the crew chiefs saying down there about what's going to win this race tonight? Is it aggressive driving? Is it defensive driving? Is it a 4-tire stop, 2-tire stop? What's kind of the scenarios down there that the crew chiefs are running through their heads?
Well, I've heard a little bit of everything down here, Michael, but I think if we get later in the race and we haven't had too many green flag laps, I think you'll see some guys about mid-pack take 2 tires, try to sneak up there and get in the top 5 and go for broke towards the end of the race. We might even see a few only, who knows, but more than likely we're going to see 2 or 4 tires as the pace car looks like it's going to pull off here.
And that will be interesting to see how the strategies start to play off, Dakota, early in the race, midway through the race, and in the end, as the 7, Terrell, brings us to a really nice slow speed pace here.
Oh, huge wreck!
There it is. Walmart parking lot, turn 1. John Abbott's in it. The 21, Lacrosse in it.
Monahan needs smoke pouring out of that machine. He'll be done probably.
Matt Lacrosse, the man, the 31-year-old out of Fort Hood, Texas. Second in points, Dakota. Look at the car right now. He's sitting 8th. Oh, he's toast. Fearless Racing team there. Bad news.
Oh. Yeah, I went back to see where this wreck originated from, and it looks like Matt Lacrosse in the 21. Everybody in front of Matt Lacrosse checked up big time going into the corner, and so I mean he drove in pretty hard. He's in 8th position. This is lap 20 going into turn number 1. He drives in real hard and has to check up, and the 71 behind him really nowhere to go. That's Keith Brooks Jr. will run right to the back of the 21, turn the 21 around in front of the field. The 21 will barely clip John Abbott, so Abbott will get a little bit of wall damage, a little bit of front end damage from another car of Lacrosse. And, you know, everybody just piles in behind him there.
And how about this, guys? 3 out of the drivers that were involved in that wreck there, Red McBride, Clint Monahan, and I want Matt Lacrosse, all 3 in the top 10. So it is not a top 10 points. If you're in the top 10 tonight, it's not the night for you, it seems.
There might be some guys back there, you know, just kind of lingering back there in the points a little bit. We might see kind of sneak up here and really get a good point stay out of this.
So working caution again. And no doubt we're going to see some of those involved in the wreck come down pit road. But for us, we're going to go ahead and step aside, take the first commercial break. Again, you're watching Tuned In to ETV, powered by the HD Radio Network. More, hopefully, green flag racing at Martinsville Speedway when we return after the message.
listeners where you can hear everything from big 80s metal to classic rock and roll, country radio, ETV, live sports radio, even adult and unplugged rock and roll. HDRadioNetwork.com, one of the fastest growing internet radio networks, HDRadioNetwork.com. Take it with you, cowboy. Get the mobile app for Android, iPhone, iPad, and all the rest from TuneIn.com.
And we are back live here at Martinsville Speedway, where we're back green flag racing, and Bobby Terrell is the man out front. Now, we just got off of a big wreck that happened in turns 1 and 2, and Chad Dalton was there on pit road to see all the cars come down. Chad, what is the latest on the racetrack?
Well, guys, Matt Lacrosse is here in pit road. He's been on pit road for an extended length of time here. That car was severely damaged in the crash we just had a few laps ago. He's been on pit road for at least 2 or 3 minutes now, trying to get everything they can repaired. Remember, he's one of our top 5 in points coming in. And there's one other car on pit road currently as well, and that is, let's see here, that looks like the Frank Kuntz car is on pit road as well, trying to get some damage fixed in that. The 98 of Stephen Herring is also down here. We got several cars on pit road trying to fix their cars from that crash we just had.
Also, too, down on pit road, bad night for the one machine of Clint Monahan, who was tied up in that big wreck there in turns 1 and 2. He is 4th in points. So again, if you're in the top 10 tonight in points, Dakota, so far it's not the night for you. Now, a couple of these guys have survived. Eric Brundy's, we mentioned, having some problems earlier. He's still got a clean race car, sitting 10th.
Yeah, and he's in a pretty decent spot. You know, he can make up a decent points day. And how about Mark Bratcher, the 24 machine, in 8th position? He's in a pretty good spot as well. I mean, he's not quite, I don't think he's up there in points, but pretty good day, solid day for this 24 team. As he just gets sideways off the turn number 4 there.
Now we've got a pretty decent green flag run going here as Bobby Terrell starts to work through some traffic. There you see him going underneath the 81 machine of Stephen Almendo. Now Lanza follows in suit. Now we're going to start seeing who's saving some tires, Dakota, who's got the car here to beat tonight. So far still, though, Terrell out front, but we're still young in tonight's event.
That we are, and he's not alone up front, because here comes David Lanza. Lanza throwing it deep into the corner. He might lose a little time off the corner, but man, he's gaining so much into the corner, it's not really much matter. And as he now has to work to the outside of the one at Clint Monahan, who actually had smoke pouring out of the machine earlier. So Clint back out on track as Lanza gets around him on the outside lane. Will hinder Lanza for a second, but Lanza's still coming because it looks like Terrell having to check up. He's trying to find a way around the 43 of Doug Ross.
Meanwhile, still some pitting going on. The 85 machine just getting word he's down on pit road. Of course, that is Nathan Bowers, a couple of laps down already. Probably some more damage control for him. Still green flag racing out front here. And I want to take you back here to the 5th and 6th position, where Bo McGuire runs that 50 machine. He's got Hunter Davis all over his back door. Remember, Hunter Davis outside the top 10 currently, but Davis has a hot rod week in, week out, Dakota.
That he does. I just think he occasionally has some bad luck, but definitely showing he's got decent luck tonight because he hasn't been wrecked in the first 40 laps, and that's more than some people can say here tonight. So, and a lot of people up there in points. So, Hunter Davis really having a pretty stout night, even if we are only 38 laps in the event, and things can still happen. But he's still going as he's trailing that number 50 car of Bo McGuire.
And of course, tonight's event with the Asphalt Assault Series couldn't happen without the good sponsors of Inside Sim Racing and Derek Spear Designs. Of course, Inside Sim Racing, your first and best choice for all the news and reviews. As the yellow has come out in turn 3 here, Dakota. In online motorsports, join Darren Ganji and Sean Cole for the latest and greatest in product reviews, simulation, auto racing games for the computer and Xbox, from steering wheels to racing rigs, updates on popular racing games, and a whole lot more. The yellow pages of online auto racing. Inside Sim Racing has it all. Visit them today at isrtv.com.
Well, caution comes out for the 69 in 16th position, lap 38, coming off turn number 2. He's up next to the wall. He moves down, makes a little bit of contact with the 84 of Jimmy Norris, but Norris finally comes back up and turns the 69 up into the wall. I can't tell if that was intentional or not, but it kind of looks like it was. Oh, Lanza gets collected a little bit later. He'll actually, sustain a little bit of damage from that incident there.
And as you see it on the E-Wine currently, the 89 machine. For the 84 machine. Oh, yeah, Dakota, I see what you mean, yeah.
Unfortunate bystander.
Unfortunate, yeah, unfortunate.
Running second position.
Speaking of second position, the 50 machine on pit road in front of you, that's McGuire. Chad, so is Lanza.
Yeah, guys, most of the top 10 just came back down, or just came down on pit road, rather, and Lanza, of course, trying to get some of that damage fixed you guys were talking about. He's still in his pits. Everybody else, though, 4 tires and fuel. I'm kind of thinking that the 24 may have taken just right sides, but might be incorrect about that. But pretty much most of the top 10, except for our race leader, Bobby Terrell, came down pit road under this caution. Now
that's interesting. Bobby Terrell, Muscle Milk Chevrolet, has led all 42 laps, and he did not pit this time. Now, that's an interesting call there, Chad.
Yeah, it is.
The guy was second coming back down pit road here, Chad.
Yeah, guys, he's back down pit road. That's what I wanted to point out there. Sorry to interrupt, but we also have Lanza back down here on pit road. David Lanza coming back with his number 33 machine into the pit road. Still got some of that right front damage on his car. Crew will go to work here and try to get as much of this damage fixed as they can before we go back green here. And just want to also point out to you guys that Matt Lacrosse, the number 21 car, has been on pit road for a very long time. They are still trying to get that car fixed, but it is still severely damaged. And actually, he has just, it looks like they might be taking it back to the garage here. We're going to have to keep up what's going on with the 21 car.
And that report brought to you by Derek Spear Designs. Derek Spear Designs, sponsoring in part with the Inside Sim Racing TV, as I mentioned earlier, the RSR Asphalt Assault Series on Thursday nights. Derek Spear Designs manufactures top-shelf simulation racing components such as pedal shifters, buttons, and a whole lot more. As we go back green here, reasonably priced. This is the kind of gear a championship race car driver needs. Bulletproof and boot-stomping strong. See us gear at DerekSpearDesigns.com. As again, green flag in the air, Dakota. Bobby Terrell picking it back up for us one more time.
Yeah, we're side by. Oh, no, I'm just kidding. We're under caution again here. As admin's actually delaying the caution, and this could actually make us go, I believe, 4 more laps possibly. We're still on the green, so we could just have a 1 lap here. Yeah, we will have 1 lap. It's a pace car already diving off. He didn't even get to stop last time for a break, get that drink of water. But here we go, green flag racing coming out here. Unbeaten.
Green flag. I thought Brian Harvey was going to have a good jump there, but he kind of backed out of the throttle, and that allowed the 7 to dive deep into turn 1 there. 3 wide here, back in 4th position. It's Nick Silver, Hunter Davis, Harvey, 3 wide down the backstretch. Martinsville
David Lanza going back down pit road once again, it looks like.
Get Silver still trying to stick a 3 wide in there as he now has to back out. Bo McGuire looking to the inside, going to have to roll out of the throttle. But side-by-side racing here as Nick Silver finally gets by Harvey. As now the front 5-6 having to settle out single file.
No, McGuire might have got the apron there, I think, but he's going to get around Harvey, as now Brundy is also coming around Harvey. How about that? Eric Brundy's up to, I believe, 8th position.
As we complete lap 49, only 16 drivers out of the 34 who took the green flag tonight are on the lead lap. The man who sits 16th in the 15 car, Rhett McBride, out of Augusta, Georgia, 42 years of age. He sits 9th in points, and right now, Dakota, he's sitting in a pretty good spot. He's got nearly half the field behind him a lap down.
That he does. And how about this battle here for, I want to say it's just in front of 5th position. It's actually the battle for 3rd. It is now Mark Bratcher getting around Stephen Marinak, I want to say that is, for the 3rd position. And now Hunter Davis is also moving up, Nick Silver, and Stephen Marinak going now back a spot to Bud McGuire's. Looks like Bratcher and Davis make contact. There goes Silver to the inside of both of them. They're going to make contact almost. Not quite, though.
Top of the screen in that 24 black, red, and blue car. That's the ETV 2.0 of Mark Bratcher, who's working the famous outside line here at Martinsville. Bo McGuire looks to the inside. Of course, he's using that Sim-Pro Chevrolet, the black and red trim, as they're side-by-side exiting turn 4.
And there goes McGuire around Mark Bratcher. He will go for the 5th position. And that'll move Bratcher back to 6th.
And, of course, let's talk a little bit about these turns, the banking here at Martinsville, Dakota. I mentioned not much degrees in the turns, just 12 degrees. And on the straightaways, the long straightaways, 0 degree banking. Of course, Martinsville, which is situated in Ridgeway, Virginia, built in 1947, one of the best tracks on the iRacing surface. Still asphalt and concrete, too, Dakota.
That it is, Michael Keaton.
But I tell you what, this track is known to wreak havoc. These slow speed corners. But it's part of racing.
That it is, and looking back up front here to the leader right now, Bobby Terrell. He is actually running up to more lap cars up front. In front of him is Frank Coons in the 48 machine. And in front of him, how about David Lanza? He was 2nd place a while ago. Now 27th, several laps down, in trouble after sustaining a little bit of damage when he was trying to miss a wrecked car on the track. As Terrell now goes around Coons and sets his sights on Monahan.
C.J. LeVere, the only man who's in the top 5 in points, is the only C.J. LeVere, the only top 10 guy in points, is the only man in the top 5 currently on the track. C.J. LeVere is back 8th in points, and he's 2nd on the racetrack. You can't find another guy until you reach 2nd position, and that's where the points leader, Stefan Marinak, sits in 7th.
Yeah, but these guys, 6th, 7th, 8th, 9th, looks like all going at it in a line here, and as I say, they're kind of separated, but you watch these guys go to a corner, they're all on the line right there. Bratcher leading that line.
Yeah, Bratcher's got his hands full with the points leader. There is now 29. Marinak looks to the bottom, almost into the grass, up on the yellow embankment there a little bit. Now Brundy's. Look at Eric Brundy's there in the 94 Chick-fil-A. I didn't invent the chicken, just the chicken sandwich car. Eric Brundy's is 3rd in points. So a little battle here. The top 3 in points now working Bratcher.
Yes, Brundy's pushing up, but you see him kind of diving in the corner there, and he's got a huge run off the corner. He's going to be nearly clear of Bratcher. He will have the spot, but it looks like Bratcher will be on his outside for at least another corner, as he actually has to check up for the 29 of Marinak, but there he goes. He's going to clear Bratcher, and now Bratcher looking to get passed by the 40 as he's actually all over the bump of the 94, almost makes contact, has to check up a little bit. No repercussion there, though, as they're still green flag racing, no wreck, and now they get around a few lap cars there.
And now let's go to Chad, who's on pit road with the latest on the number 33 machine. David Lanza, who would run third most of the night in the beginning, and then found his way back towards the back, couple of laps down. What's the latest on Lanza's machine, Chad?
Well, Michael, he's been down pit road about 2 or 3 times under this green flag conditions that we've had, trying to get as much of that right front fender as he can fixed. Unfortunately, spending all that time at pit road has left him 6 laps down, and he's currently in 27th position. But the car seems to be back up to a reasonable pace, and he is back out on the racetrack right now.
Yeah, and Dakota, you know, think about this. The 33 machine of Lanza, fastest in practice. Then he turns around and puts it 4th quickest in qualifying, and here he sits back, as Chad mentioned, 6 laps down in 27th position, just outside the top 10 here in the Asphalt Assault Series. Just another night gone bad for another driver.
And, you know, he's hitting rather quick lap times there. I want to see what he hits this time by. I wonder if he got hindered by a little bit of lap traffic last time. But, I mean, his lap times are, you know, pretty decent, actually, compared to the race leader. We're looking at it this time by. He runs a 20.534. You know, compared to the leader's 20.613. He's faster than the leader right now. He's just 6 laps down and does not have the track position for sure.
Yeah, too, you know, he's got about 10 drivers in front of him who would be awarded the lucky dog before he would be. So he's in a very, very bad situation, and Lance is just out there clicking laps down. But the man who's clicking them down faster than anyone on the racetrack right now, Bobby Terrell.
Behind him, C.J. LeVere, just the next car in line. He is entering turn 1 and 2, I do believe that is, you know, Terrell just now exiting. It looks like, you know, they're not very far away. That was 3 and 4 actually, but they're not very separated at all. I mean, it's just about a 2-second gap as we have caution on the track actually.
That's going to be the 69 of Augusto Gabadano in 23rd position. He will bring out that caution as he tries to get his Chevrolet Camaro SS style body out back onto the race surface. Oh, he looks pretty messed up, Dakota.
Yeah, it was the 11 car that actually got into it. That was Adam Roberts. Roberts was in the 13th position, lap 66, and I believe we're heading through, I want to say this is 1 and 2, possibly, and it looks like just the 13, or the 11 of Adam Roberts slides up into Augusto, and will turn him around.
But the biggest story on the racetrack, the number 7 machine finally coming down pit road as he gets a little bit of bump from the 23 Fearless Racing machine of C.J. LeVere. Hunter Davis in pursuit behind him as they come down in front of you down on pit road, Chad.
Yep, pretty much the top 8 here on pit road, guys. And of course, the Muscle Milk Chevrolet, the number 7, Bobby Terrell in his pit stall for the first time tonight here at Martinsville Speedway. And we got pretty much the rest of the top 8 here. Bobby Terrell is going to take 4 tires. Looks like everyone's going to take 4 tires. And this should be a pretty interesting race off pit road, but it looks like, yep, no contest. Bobby's going to win the race off of the pit lane.
Yeah, and one thing, Chad, I noticed Bobby's got the last pit stall, and it's about 40 feet, give or take some, to that exit cone. So he's got a really nice spot on pit road. Of course, Bobby Terrell being awarded that position, I believe, via qualifying, Dakota.
Yeah, that would be correct, actually. He actually ran 2nd in practice and then picked up, I want to say, 0.08 of a second in qualifying and ran the fastest lap out of anybody, whether it be practice or qualifying, so far today at a 19.750, giving him that first stall and the pole position at the start of the race.
And of course, the new 2013 ETV lineup, Monday nights, 9:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, the Real Sim Racing Full Throttle Cup Series, sponsored by Bob Earl Racing. But before that, you can catch, starting April 8th at 8:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, the iRacing Today radio show, hosted by Trevor Cameron and Chad Dalton, by the fans and for the fans. This is an up and unbridged, unbiased, and unadulterated live radio about everything iRacing up close and not personal. Join Trevor and Chad as they interact with live call-ins, live guests, and a whole lot more. There's no rules on this radio show, no back talk and no BS. iRacing Today show starts again April 8th, every Monday after April 8th at 8:30 p.m. on ETV Radio, etv-eplay.net, which is also featured on iTunes, Windows Media Guide, TuneIn Radio, and of course, you can get the mobile app from TuneIn.com.
I'm sure Chad would preach it if he possibly could here as we get set for the green flag. How about Bobby Terrell currently sitting third? Joey Hilton and Jason Lester leading us to the green flag. Joey Hilton is away. Huge jump, and he'll be the lead car heading through turns 1 and 2. Oh, he shoves way up the track. Way up there. And now it looks like the 23 is actually getting around him.
And for the first time tonight, Bobby Terrell again going to lose that lead as he did not restart first for the first time tonight.
There will be a wreck. I think there's going to be a wreck back here, Keaton. There's a car that's all over the place, and I want to say that was Joey Hilton. I mean, he's sliding up next to the wall. I mean, he kind of checked up a lot of cars. Almost looked like he was going to wreck about 3 times now.
Yeah, let's keep an eye on him. The number 40 machine, Joey Hilton, who was in the 3rd spot, now falling back a little bit. The 50 of McGuire works underneath. Now the 29 of Marinac. Points leader tries to go up underneath. No room to do it. Now he digs it down deep in turn 1. He'll have it. The 40 car of Joey Hilton all the way back to 6th now, or 7th.
He's going back, and now his the next guy looking to get around him is Mark Bratcher. Bratcher coming with a huge run through the corner. Can he look for that lane, though, to get around him? And how about the battle back here for Yeah, I was looking at the battle back here. It was a battle, not quite anymore. Jason Lester giving up the spot to Adam Roberts. That was a 10th position battle. In front of them, it looks like J. Randall Watkins, and now it looks like Adam Roberts also going around Joey Hilton. And behind them, it looks like Brian Harvey and Jason Lester battling. I think Lester's going backwards. And how about David Lanza up in this mix? He's several laps down, but he's up here racing these guys like he's on the lead lap.
Well, that's about the only way that Lanza can get back some laps. I mean, he's got to get up there and pass the leader, hope for a caution. Pass the leader again, hope for a caution. But I tell you what, Lanza's night terribly gone bad for him. Of course, 6 laps down again, as you mentioned, 25th position. But he's racing up there with the leaders and with the best. J. Randall Watkins, look at him in the 8th spot. All over the back door, Mark Bratcher there. And Adam Roberts has his number 11 machine in the mix as well.
I'll tell you what, Lanza's flying around this track. He might be one of the, if not the fastest cars on the track right now.
And to finish off the 2013 ETV lineup, Tuesday nights, 9 p.m., ETV Live Team Series Racing, sponsored by HD Radio Network. Jerry Wolf doing a fine job leading that, as well as Dakota and partnering with him. Wednesday night, 7 o'clock, you can catch the Eastern Canadian League, which is Maritime iRacing League short track racing style. Tim Terry's bunch out of Eastern Canada really know how to get those late models around the short tracks on iRacing. Thursday night, 9:30 p.m., Real Sim Racing Asphalt Assault Series. You're watching it right now, sponsored by Inside Sim Racing TV, and of course Derek Spear Designs. And last but not least, Friday night, 9:45 p.m., Super Speedway Cup Series and the Core Series starting Sunday, a couple of weeks from now, Dakota, as caution back out on the racetrack.
Looking to find out exactly where this caution started. And I see some tire marks just for this might have been a clicker caution.
Looks like the 23 C.J. LeVere, leader, going to spin it out in turn 3, first position. He just lost it, Dakota, and he overcorrected it into the wall, and Bobby Terrell's probably wiping away the sweat from his brow after that one.
Oh, that doesn't even look right. That looks like something went wrong in the car. I want to ride on board with this guy. I want to see if he maybe missed a shift or something, or shifted down by accident and hit something that would cause him to lose control.
He definitely lost control and got into the wall pretty hard. That Fearless Racing Chevrolet C.J. LeVere down on pit road in front of you, Chad.
Yeah, Michael, heavy damage to the front of this Budweiser Chevrolet for C.J. LeVere. He is, though, going to try and play the game to stay on the lead lap as he is down and away and driving back out onto the racetrack, but still some heavy damage on the front there. He never really said anything on the radio about what was going on, so we'll try and figure out what happened, but looked like something's going wrong with the transmission in that car.
Of course, too, C.J. LeVere, Dakota, sitting 8th in points out of Saranac Lake, New York. 31 years old. LeVere's trying to play that game, like Chad said, stay on the lead lap here with a little bit of damage still to go to fix on that car.
Well, that can be important. We only have 16 cars on the lead lap. I mean, if a lot of them have damage here, the odds are he's going to be just as fast as most of them out there. He should be able to, you know, still get a decent finish out of this.
We also see teammate Matt LaCrosse down on pit road. Also, look like the 94 machine, who may be one to talk about, Eric Brundy's, that Chick-fil-A Chevrolet. Chad in front of you, 16th position, trying to stay on the lead lap. He sits somewhere in the neighborhood of 3rd in points.
Yeah, some pretty heavy damage to this Chick-fil-A car as well. Front and rear damage. Looks like it's a little bit heavier on the front side of the car, though. Fortunately, though, Martinsville not too big on aerodynamics, so he should be okay. But also want to point out that 23 of C.J. LeVere back on pit road, still playing the stay on the lead lap game. He's going to roll back out, but just trying to fix as much damage as possible without losing a lap.
And Eric Brundy's will keep his machine out in front of LeVere there for that 15th and 16th, respectively. And again, both cars staying on the lead lap.
Yeah, I think it's really hard to stay on the lead lap in a place like Martinsville when you're pitting to fix damage here. Very short track, very short pace laps.
And with that being said, Dakota, field being led by the pace car out of turn 4. He's down and away. The 7 leads us back to green. 86 laps in the books.
Marinac was all over the bumper. Silver, that was the 3rd car on the inside. Silver got a huge jump because of it, but it did cost both of them. They got sideways, and now Silver up to 2nd. Hunter Davis back there battling with Marinac for the 3rd position, and that's Marinac on the inside trying to get around Davis. And how about up front? It looks like Silver had caught Bobby Terrell for the moment.
Oh, looks like Adam Roberts and Mark Bratcher just got into it. Mark Bratcher killing the wall. I'm looking. And there's a big crash. John Abbott's involved, 20th position. And it's going to start with Mark Bratcher. This is going to start up there with Mark Bratcher. Look like the Doug Roth machine got turned around right in front of turn 1. And this is what's going to bring out the caution.
Yep. Yeah, watching John Abbott, I mean, he was just checking up for the wreck and just got plowed from behind there, it looks like. I mean, he was all the way back in 20th. He saw that wreck a mile away. And just nowhere to go, it looks like, because somebody didn't check up behind him there.
And that will be the man out of Augusta, Georgia, Rhett McBride. And, of course, if you look in the cockpit of Rhett McBride's machine, as I did, Dakota, it's so hard to check up here. He sees the wreck, but I think he got tapped from behind.
Yeah, he did. That was I want to say that was a 23 of C.J. LeVere, who was, we would just been talking about him trying to stay on the lead lap. It just looks like he doesn't touch the brakes at all. Moves down to just go try to find a way around it. He flips the 15 and hits the 10. I mean, a hard hit.
Yeah, and go back and look at LeVere's cockpit. He was so high up on the wall, Dakota had no clue until it was too late. The 43, of course, Doug Roth spinning way down low. Cars in front of LeVere blocking the view. LeVere was way up high. Didn't even see smoke out front of that car.
Very unfortunate. You know, it's hard to see anything from that point of view. I mean, especially inside that small cockpit, you've got to, you know, navigate around traffic as it is. You don't quite see around the cars in front of you. You got to rely on a spotter or somebody to relay the message that there's a wreck on the racetrack for you to be able to stop.
So while we're under caution break, we're going to take the opportunity to step aside, take a quick commercial break, and return back to Green Flag Racing at Martinsville Speedway. You're watching ETV, powered by the HD Radio Network. And welcome back. Green flag in the air. Terrell just picking it up here at Martinsville Speedway. 94 laps into the books. Nearly halfway home as they exit turn 2, Dakota.
Again, this event sponsored by Princeton Racing. 200 laps on the board as now Marinac moves up to the second position around Nicholas Silver, and he's trying to set his sights on leader Bobby Terrell. Back behind him, though, Bo McGuire. I want to say it was Bo McGuire getting all kinds of sideways, trying to get around Hunter Davis, and he does. He clears the spot and is up to the 4th position.
Bobby Terrell into turns 3 and 4 here. Got some backdoor company. Mr. Mann, who sits first in points, Marinac. Second on the racetrack. Just a couple of car lengths separate the two. Coming out of turn 2 down the backstretch. Picking up speeds. Dakota going into turn 3 somewhere around 120 miles an hour.
And these guys go from, I mean, if you look at these guys, middle of the corner, 66 miles an hour. It goes all the way down to about 60, and they're getting, just exiting the corner. They're up to 90 already. That's 30 miles per hour, just a small little gap. And I mean, they get up to quite a bit down the straightaway, and then they slow it back down and get it going back again. I mean, that's a hard thing to do, and these cars have a lot of power to be able to go the speeds they are right now.
Bobby Terrell beginning to check out a little bit there. Going to move back to position number 12, where Eric Brundies runs that 94 machine, able to keep it on the lead lap. Remember, he was back in 16th, where C.J. Levere was. He's gotten by Douglas White, Doug Roth, and Jose Gonzalez. As Eric Brundies still continues to climb forward, Dakota sitting 3rd in points, sitting 12th on the racetrack. He's got some ground to make up, but it can still happen.
Good. And how about currently, I want to say our lucky dog is, wreck on the racetrack. 27 around J. Ronald Watkins, and that's going to cause a huge pileup. Yeah, 15 over the wall.
That's Rhett McBride over the wall into pit road. Heavy dark smoke pouring from out beneath the hood. And Rhett McBride 9th in points. Not his day either, Dakota.
And it looks like it starts with J. Ronald Watkins, lap 99, position 9, going into turns 3 and 4. It looks like Watkins just getting a little bit of help maybe from Glenn Campbell. And it might have been even netcode, I don't know, but that will spin the 27 around in front of a lot of cars and will cause a lot of carnage, sending the 15 of Rhett McBride over the wall.
Rhett McBride already fallen back to 21st, 3 laps down. Chad, looks like the 15 machine might be pulled into the garage.
Yeah, Michael, he actually just took the car behind the wall, and I'm pretty sure that they will not be back in this race today after that wild ride. Do want to point out Stefan Marinac, second on the racetrack, and our points leader is on pit road for 4 tires and gas. He brought in, I want to say, about 3 or 4 other cars with him from the top 5. The 30 of Nick Silver was on pit road, and the 50 car was Bew McGuire was also on pit road, and I think Hunter Davis in the 41 was also in pit road.
And before all the stops, just to give you an idea where the top 5 ran during that caution and before the caution, Stephen Marinac, 2nd position. Matt Lacrosse back there in 30th. Eric Brundies currently 13th. Clint Monahan back in 27th position. And Brian Harvey, who is from Foster City, California, one of the oldest men in the top 10 here tonight, 45 years of age, young man, excuse me, is sitting in the neighborhood in 11th. Of course, now Bobby Terrell is out front. Matt Lacrosse directly behind him, maybe inching or trying to itch his way in to get another lap back, Dakota.
I would say so. Currently, the first car 1 lap down, there's going to be John Abbott after being caught up in several incidents tonight. If he can stay incident-free until the next caution, and that's if there is another caution, but there's still around 100 laps left. I would say that there will be 1 more caution at least. Abbott will get the lucky dog as long as he maintains the position he's in currently. And it looks like I want to say CJ Rivera was the wave run this time.
And how about this? A little bit of team-style standings. Fearless Racing. This is a team consisting of CJ Rivera, John Milwane, Jose Gonzalez, Matt Lacrosse, and Stefan Marinac. How about this, Dakota? 5 races so far. That team has won 4. And all of the other teams, Wolf Motorsports, Fearless Racing, Stroke Races, John Boy and Billy Rock and Roll Racing, Hollywood Motorsports, Team RSR, and BRB Motorsports. How about the only other man to win a race is not even on a team?
How about that?
And if I'm not mistaken, that's going to be Eric Brundy's.
Yeah, I believe it is, as we get set for green flag racing here. Working through the backstretch. Going to go one more time. The pace car is going to dive off just a few more feet ahead. And then Bobby Terrell will lead him to the green flag with Brian Harvey, and he's outside. The 12th car will make up the 3rd position of Douglas White, and Hunter Davis in the 4th position. Michael Keaton take us to the green flag.
As Terrell and Harvey, look at Harvey to the outside there, trying to get us run maybe? No, I'm not going to be able to mount up a charge, but here comes Hunter Davis. That was a gutsy restart there.
But it was
Yep.
a 30-car wrecking.
You know, that restart looked kind of funny to me, Dakota, and it was the 30 machine, Nick Silver, going to just get into the right front end of the 11 machine of Adam Roberts, and that's going to be enough to spin her around.
Yeah, to collect the 11, and just a lot of cars collect out of this. Bo McGuire a little bit. He might sneak away pretty clean. Mark Bratcher, though, unlucky this time. Stefan Marinac might have got a little bit of damage out of that, if not a lot. I want to see how hard a hit that 29 took, really. Or that was Jason Lester, 92, so that was not the points leader. And then David Lanza was, right behind all this. A lot of cars nearly taken out here.
And the root of that problem, I believe, is going to come from that restart. That was a real awkward restart, as Brian Harvey in the 67 had literally fell back to about where the 4th or 6th position car would be lining up at, Dakota, and just at the last minute punched it forward, then let out of the throttle, and then it kind of forced a mix-up. Hunter Davis dove into the inside, forced a 3-wide chain reaction into turn 3, which does not work here at the Paperclip Martinsville. And now we see the result of that.
That we do.
And again, talking about Fearless Racing, they are the #1 team right now, Dakota. Again, 4 wins, 7 top 5s, 9 top 10s. But the team who would have the least incident points out of all the other drivers and teams would be Stroker Races, Doug Rolfe, Jimmy North, John Abbott, and Stephen Herring. After tonight, who knows?
It's kind of a wild card race, I would say, for that.
And now for the latest on pit road, let's go to Chad Dalton. Chad, what's the latest?
Well, Nick Silver that was involved in that crash, guys, they had a heavy damage to the rear of that car, and he has actually pulled it into the garage for the moment to see if the team can work on it behind the wall here and get him back out to finish the race. But he had a lot of damage, as you guys saw in that wreck there, but he is in the garage right now.
Of course, Nick Silver, part of Silver Racing Team out of Santa Maria, California, 21 years of age. Been racing since NASCAR 2, Dakota, which is basically since 2005. Pro Cup champion, Outlaw Truck Series champion, one-time Can-Am Late Model Series runner-up. Nick, doing a fine job, Dakota. You have someone in the booth.
That I do, actually. Joining us on the radio, I do believe, Bobby Terrell, current leader of the race. I think he's led nearly every lap of the race so far. Bobby, man, let's cut over the broadcast booth. You got a copy, man?
Yes, sir, I'll copy you.
Well, you're up front, and I think you've been up front most of the race. Are you concerned with any of these guys behind you here?
Not right now. Maybe later on.
Have you got this track pretty much figured out?
Yeah, it's one of my better tracks. I've got a lot of wins here, so I mean I like it a lot.
And how do you manage to pick up like 3/4 of a tenth from practice to qualify in there?
I was sandbagging a little bit.
How about that? Bobby, man, can you defend your lead here for the rest of the race here?
I sure hope so. We'll find out.
Alright, well, good luck to you, man.
Thank you.
And now it's Bobby Terrell as he gets set for the green flag, Malcolm Keaton.
Bobby Terrell, part of that red-ass chassis work. Hopefully Mr. Muscle Milk, that's the new nickname we're going to give him, as he takes the green flag. Hopefully Mr. Muscle Milk won't mind me sharing his age. 51 years old. The man out of Union City, Tennessee.
And I think he's led twice the amount of laps of his age there. He's probably hit about over 110 there.
Oh, the 41 machine! Hello, 41 car out of turn 4. Gonna spin her loose, and how about this? Oh, he just barely nicked the wall. I thought that he cleared the wall, and everyone else cleared him. So Hunter Davis, if anything, just a little bit of cosmetic damage to the front end of the machine as he gets it turned around on the front stretch and brings out a caution. That looked dangerous.
That it did. I mean, and I'm watching this going to the corner. He just cuts it down. He's making a lot of momentum, so he's trying to cut down. He's trying to make up time here while he can, and it looks like he just comes down and clips the apron, and that's enough to turn him around. It's going to get him sideways. That's one of the dangerous parts on the track. He'll take a very, very small hit to the wall. Nobody else will hit him, and he'll just sit there as everybody gets around him, and I think he can recover. I don't think he had a whole lot of damage here. He can come around and get 4 tires and fuel, and he'll be away probably. And I know he is coming up here right now. He's stopping in his stall to Chad Dalton.
Yeah, guys, a little bit more damage than just cosmetic. He was checking his toe coming down pit road here, making sure that the toe wasn't knocked out. It seemed okay. They're going to try and fix as much as they can, put some duct tape on it, and get him 4 tires and fuel. And it looks like most of the damage is going to get fixed here. So, like you guys are saying, he should be all right in that number 41 car.
And just add to that, Hunter Davis had been given the EOL penalty for bringing out the caution, but he had pitted, as Chad said anyway, having to get the damage fixed, get the 4 fresh tires on it, maybe just some gas, and he's going to be back anyway. As again, the 41 machine coming down pit road, Hunter Davis staying on the lead lap. He's back in 15th. Not really, you know, that EOL penalty, Chad, not really a big deal for him.
No, not right now, Michael. He just came down pit road real quickly. The crew wanted to make sure that they had the tape on there nice and snug. Remember that, and it looks like he will actually go a lap down here. I'm not sure he's going to beat the pace car off. That was really close. So we'll have to keep an eye on that. But crew just wanted to make sure that everything was secure on the car before he goes back out in the race speed. But that was really close going off pit road there, guys.
Dakota, now correct me if I'm wrong, I saw the pace car actually pass him on the racetrack, but the 41 machine would beat the pace car back to the exit of pit road by a cat whisker. Now, how does that work?
Well,
is he going to be okay there?
He might be forced to give this back up. We'll have to see whether he's forced to give it back up. And, you know, I think it's beyond race official. Oh, somebody's going backwards there.
Hunter Davis back down on road again, fixing whatever damage was done to that race car as he now exits pit road again. I think he's going to be okay. I think because he beat out the pace car, as we go back green, he's going to be stuck there. Man, you know, Hunter Davis, bad position here as we're back green, and they're just about a half of a turn away from him.
Not quite a huge wreck back there. We're still green, but I mean, huge stack up. The 40 car did not go at all. Big stack up, nearly caused a large wreck. A lot of cars did take damage right there as actually admins throw in the caution here for the large incident on the restart.
Here in the 11 machine of Adam Roberts getting into the wall hard. He's running 8th position, 6th at the time of the accident. But the caution would be thrown out, and that's going to save the 41 of Hunter Davis.
That it will. Davis is saving grace right here.
And as some of the backfield cars come down the road, we're going to take a quick commercial break. Hopefully more green flag racing in the air here at Martinsville Speedway, the half-of-a-mile racetrack that's brought to you by ETV, powered by the HD Radio Network. Don't go anywhere. We'll see you in a minute. Landon Huffman coming to a comfortable lead, coming out of 2. He's got about 8 car lengths. Put it half a second over Dwayne Vincent as Chad Cole works the number 2 spot.
Time is running out. Vincent's got it. Cole wants it to the wall. Chevrolet puts the bumper to the 13 of Vincent. Vincent not backing down. He's in second. You know, we got 1 car on the bottom of the 10 cars.
InsideSimRacing.tv, the fastest show on the internet. Sim racing news and reviews since 2007, with new shows every week.
And welcome back to the leader in sim broadcasting, ETV Live, powered by the HD Radio Network. This is the Real Sim Racing Asphalt Assault Series. Joining me tonight in the booth, Dakota Ehrman on pit road, Chad Dalton. George Wood, also statistician down in the pit road area, just got back from the concession stand. Bringing John Wessling a hot dog, who's talking to Trevor about April 8th's event, the radio show that's going to be brought to you in part by them. As we get back to Go Green here, Dakota, the 7 machine is quick tonight. Can Bo McGuire take a step ahead and take the lead?
Yeah, here we go. Side by side once. I'm just kidding once again because the caution was delayed. We're not going green flag racing this time. We're going to come around pace one more time. Its pace car will come out off of pit road, and these guys will line back up, and we'll go green flag racing this time. Race officials throwing us for a loop up here.
Well, you know, I mean, that's twice that they've got me. And now the pace car are going to dip back down again. And let's see if the 7 machine and 50 of Bo McGuire can come to a steady pace here out of turn 4 and get us back green, and we will go back green. We are green flag racing now.
Yeah, now we're really side by side. Going into turn number 1 and 2, a lot of cars side by side. The inside lane stacking up. It looks like behind Bo McGuire is, how about Stephen Marinac up to 3rd position. Now Bo McGuire trying to run down Bobby Terrell.
And a couple of laps ago, we had 16 drivers on the lead lap. Now only 15. The man being last on the tail end of the lead lap would be the 43 of Doug Roth.
Eric Brownie's up to 14th. How about Jaron Watkins in 13th? Brian Harvey 12th. Adam Roberts 11th. And CJ LeVere up in the 10th position now. Just let you know who else is on the lead lap there.
And would you think that the man out of MI, crooked letter I, crooked letter I, humpback I, Mississippi, would be sitting in 6th after being punted there in turns 1 and 2 earlier in that big mayhem Walmart parking lot crash?
Well, that was an interesting way to pronounce where it was from, but either way, it's John Abbott and the 10 machine currently sitting in 6th position, hanging in there. You know, several times he was turned around, took quite a few hits, and I'm surprised that you know, John Abbott prevailing here, really running in the 7th position. And how about Mark Bradshaw in front of him? Mark Bradshaw also took a huge hit earlier. These two running for positions up in the top 10 right now.
Back on the front stretch. Davis, you called it, Dakota, coming out of turn 4. He taps the wall, loses it, and this time he really takes in the inside wall for a loop. Oh, gosh, and Brian Harvey came through there, drilled him, and So did Matt Lacrosse, the 67, taking an ETV ticket ride on the front stretch here, nearly going end over end.
Yeah, it looks like the 67 ran into because the 21 got into the back of the 67 here. And I'm trying to see if the 21 saw it coming. Looks like he does check up, but he was moving down to try to miss Brian Harvey, and just gets right to the back of him, nowhere to go, and that'll put Harvey into the back of the spinning car there, Davis.
Yeah, and tough break for Harvey. 5th in the points. He's got a badly messed up race car. And he's down in front of you on pit road, Chad. So is Abbott and the 26 of Jose Gonzalez, all 3 people on the lead lap currently.
Yeah, I think this is an opportunity for some of these cars that are still a little bit damaged, like John Abbott has a little bit of rear damage to that car, to come back down and try and get some more fixed. Not too many cars left on the lead lap, so you don't risk too much there, but checking out Hunter Davis here, he is, remember he was involved in that crash just a minute ago, and he has been disqualified from the race right now.
And seeing he will finish 30th from the Professor George Wood.
Now Hunter Davis outside the top 10 here in the Asphalt Assault Series. Hunter Davis back in 37th position. Going into tonight's race, he would only have 3 starts, so he's 2 back from most of the guys here. About 24 of them have, or 25, maybe a little bit more than that, maybe about 30 drivers with 5 starts so far this season apiece. Hunter Davis 2 down though, and back there in 37th position, just going to take an early exit via the dequalification flag. That's the black flag with the X on it, Dakota.
Unfortunately it is, and that will end his day here, as there's nothing he could do, but we're still pacing here. Lap 131 of 200 here at Martinsville Speedway with the Real Sim Racing Asphalt Assault Series. Again, this is sponsored by Inside Sim Racing, and
and 2, of course, you're hearing it live on ETV, Dakota. And of course, I mentioned powered by the HD Radio Network. What's the HD Radio Network? Well, it's the home of ETV Live Radio. The HD Radio Network gives you a variety of stations to choose from, including the big 80s metal, all HDR classics, all HDR country, and a whole lot more. Take your pick and rock your brains out. HD Radio Network stations are featured on iTunes Radio, TuneIn Radio, and also listed in the Windows Media Guide. Listen today from HDRadioNetwork.com, or take it with you and get the mobile app from TuneIn.com. And now the caution back out on the racetrack, going to settle things back down as the pace car now exits into turn. Oh, he didn't exit this time, did he, Dakota? I thought he was going to go down.
no, you missed it again.
They fooled me again. I tell you, I'm going to have to get on Greg Netherwood. That's the second breaking fastball he's thrown me tonight.
No, I think it was Patrick He's done it twice. Greg Netherwood has done it maybe twice. I can't tell you exactly who else done it how many times, but either way, we're working out 137, getting set for the green flag this time now, Michael Keaton, as we work through the backstretch. Off, it'll be Bobby Terrell leading to the green flag with Stephen Marinac on the outside.
George Wood just handed me a yellow sticky note, hence the yellow for 79 yellow caution laps. As now we're going to go back green. Bobby Terrell, good slow pace speed here to take us back into green. As now Bo McGuire's around.
Yeah, I think he got punted by the 24 Mark Bratcher. Whoa.
And now that's going to calculate George Wood's calculator, the professor.
Wow, it looks like just Bratcher. I don't know. This is Bratcher who's in, I want to say, 5th position. He's underneath the 50. It just looks like the 50 maybe breaks a little bit earlier. The 24 runs right in the back of him, turns him around. That's 3 wide back there trying to avoid him. He might have collected a few cars back there.
You never know. And of course, Bo McGuire, the 50 machine, coming in tonight's event just outside the top 10. Last week, he was in the top 10. This week, he's nowhere to be found. 30-year-old Mr. Consistency, Sun Prairie, Wisconsin. He was 8th last week, Dakota. Now outside the top 10 looking in. And with that, he may be on the outside looking out.
And again, I want to remind you this event is sponsored by Inside Sim Racing, sponsoring the Thursday Night Real Sim Racing Asphalt Assault Series. Inside Sim Racing, your first and best choice for all news and reviews in online motorsports. Join Darren Gansey and Sean Cole for the latest and greatest and product reviews, simulation, idle racing, games for PCs and the Xbox crowd, from steering wheels to full-size racing rigs, updates on popular racing games, and a whole lot more. The yellow pages of online auto racing, Inside Sim Racing has it all. Visit them today at www.isrtv.com.
And of course, all of our sponsors here that we have at ETV, very proud to have these sponsors. Bob Earl Racing, 2nd year in a row with a Full Throttle Cup Series with Real Sim Racing. Catch them on Monday nights. Gary Mercer Trucking Incorporated. Catch them gmercer.com. Inside Sim Racing, as you just mentioned, Dakota, ETV Live, iLeagueRace.com. One shop for iRacing leagues, total website and points management system there at iLeagueRace.com. Real Sim Racing uses them. We use them on the team series. It's on Tuesday nights. Jerry Wolf again doing a fine job with that. Of course, the new iRacing Today radio show. You can check that out starting April 8th, 8:30 p.m. on ETV. iRacingTodayRadio.com. Again, iRacing Today radio show going to be brought to you and hosted by Trevor Cameron and Chad Dalton, and of course the ETV Live Radio itself, and then the HD Radio Network, and of course Derek Spear Designs co-sponsoring with Inside Sim Racing TV tonight and every Thursday night for the Asphalt Assault Series.
We definitely here as we still pacing lap 143 of 200, still over 50 laps remaining here at Martinsville Speedway. I believe we'll be getting double file here, getting set for the green flag. We are getting double file. And we do have 1 second to go to Chad Dalton.
Hey guys, the 50 car View McGuire, real quickly, he actually tried to come down pit road 2 laps ago and spun out when the crew yelled at him to stay out on the track because the pace car was really close to him. But he did come back down pit road and get some of that damage fixed from that crash he was just in, and he's back out.
And here we go. Pace car's off. And it's Bobby Terrell leading with a green flag. Green flag is out. Terrell gets a huge jump over Marinac, who's in 2nd position. Leads him into turn number 1. And it's Terrell leading the way on lap 145 of 200 as we're double file and maybe 3 wide a ways back in the field.
And look at that boy in 3rd position. The young man out of Salisbury, North Carolina, the 40-year-old, in the 40 car, in 3rd position, Dakota. He's 6th in the points.
And it's there's a 40 car stuck on the outside. That's Joey Hilton. He's going to get past you. It looks like Adam Roberts around him. Now CJ LeVere going around him. Remember LeVere shifting down a while ago in one of the corners while he was leading the race. He shifted down. I don't know if it was by accident or what. Heard transmission problems, and it spun him around, and he went to the rear of the field. It's been a long time trying to fix that car from the tiny bit of damage he had. He's currently back up in the 4th position now, looks like, as Joey Hilton falls back to 5th, with Glenn Campbell looking now to get around him for the 5th position.
So now it's time for the countdown to the championship run, where we go through the top 10 and where they're at on the racetrack. Well, Stefan Marinac, 1st in points, currently 2nd on the racetrack. Matt Lacrosse, who would come in 2nd tonight, would be somewhere in the neighborhood of 26, 23 laps down, Dakota. Then Eric Brundys, who's 3rd in points. Eric Brundys sitting 12th on the lead lap currently. Clint Monahan in that one machine would come in tonight's event, 4th in points. He's back in 21st, 15 down. Brian Harvey out of Foster City, California, the 45-year-old, comes in tonight's event, 5th in points. Brian Harvey sitting 23rd, 17 laps down. Joey Hilton, we just mentioned him, out of Salisbury. He sits 6th in points, right now on the racetrack, back up to 4th. White Wolf Jr., son of White Wolf Sr., who sits 29th currently tonight. White Wolf Jr., although on the lead lap in the top 10, 9th position. CJ LeVere, we just talked to him, Dakota, earlier, the 23 car, 3rd on the racetrack route now, 8th in points, and Brett McBride in 9th. You can find McBride all the way back in 28th position, 52 laps down. That 15 car toast for the night. And then last but not least, Jimmy North out of St. Paul, Minnesota, 10th in points. Jimmy North right now on the racetrack, 15th, just 3 down.
It looks like Adam Roberts has ended his day. I want to say he was doing all right, and was involved in some kind of incident that knocked a toe out on the car, and it was a big one. And I'm trying to go figure out where exactly it was. Oh, his caution's out.
It's like Frank turned around. Coming in at turn 1, Dakota. Oh, he looked like he did the same exact thing C.J. LeVere did, if I'm not mistaken. That almost looks like they're downshifting. Or it could be another transmission. You know, C.J. LeVere's in a Chevrolet, and so is Frank.
And I want to take that. I also want to go back and look at this 11 car. What ended the 11 car stay really initially? If you go back to lap 148, if we can get John on this, lap 148, and he was in 3rd position. He's got somebody on the inside, and that's a 23 there of C.J. LeVere. LeVere gets around him, and it looks like the 11 just comes down behind him as they're going in turn number 3 and just runs to the back of him. Nearly turns LeVere. LeVere saves it, and this costs a lot of time, but a little bit of damage does to that 11 right there. And that was the start of it, where his toes just knocked out a little bit, made a little bit more contact, and he was on the outside wall and going back, ended up spinning the car around trying to come back to pit road. But it was a big stack up there. I thought that was going to be a caution. It was unique that it wasn't, but anyway, still pacing back up front with Bobby Terrell and John Abbott leading the way. How about that?
How about that? I was just about to mention that. Tonight we had row 1. Bobby Terrell started 1st. John Abbott started 2nd. Remember on the start there, John Abbott would fall all the way back to 7th position within 2 laps and never see the daylight of 2nd place again until now, where he sits. Dakota.
How about we need to talk to John Abbott? How about we talk to John Abbott? Let's get John Abbott on the radio here, Keaton.
Of course, John Abbott nowhere to be found in the top 10 in points coming into tonight's event, but his team does sit 2nd, and that Stroker Races team.
And joining us on the radio, John Abbott, who's sitting in the 2nd position. John, I don't know that there's a fender any place in that car that is not bent, that doesn't have a mark or anything on it. You've been in all kinds of incidents tonight, and you're in 2nd position. And John.
Translation to John Abbott. John, how in the world have you got that car in 2nd position, man?
I don't know. How does it look, Batman? Been spending the whole race trying to get it fixed, and we're going to try to get a good finish here.
Well, John, that car back up front again at the restart of the beginning of the race. You'd fall back to 7th and wouldn't find 2nd until now. Good luck, man, as you go back green here.
I appreciate it, guys. We're just going to try to keep it clean to the end.
So the 7 machine of Bobby Terrell gonna take us back green, and I don't know about George or Chad or Trevor or John or even you, Dakota, but I'm slipping some money over here in the Vegas odds that muscle milkman may just pull an upset here tonight. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I'm hearing this is the 92nd yellow lap pace lap that we've done tonight. My money's on Terrell. I gotta say, my money's on Terrell. He's done so well so far. I think he's untouchable here. So we get set for green flag racing. Pace car's off, and Terrell is rolling. How about John Abbott getting a huge restart? He'll have to check up because he can't beat the leader of the line or the green, and that will cause a big fiasco behind him.
Well, if we haven't seen it all, we've seen it all now. as John Abbott, again, Dakota, let's go back to the beginning of the race. John Abbott would start second. He would fall all the way back to 7th within 2 laps. Here he is again, starting second on the restart. About 40 laps to go in the race. First lap, he falls back to 6th.
And John Abbott.
Does John Abbott have any luck at all?
He's coming up pit road. He's got a problem.
Uh-oh. Black flag for the number 10 machine of Abbott. I believe he got too far of a jump on the restart. And oh boy, does John Abbott have all the luck. The ETV jinx.
Yeah, I think he was expecting Terrell to go a lot sooner than he did, and it ended up costing him there. He'll now go.
Oh, it's going to cost him dearly. Yeah, it's going to cost him dearly. 35-mile-an-hour pace speed on pit road. Got to come down and stop. And then, meanwhile, Bobby Terrell able to do about 120 on the front and back stretches, 90-mile-an-hour in the corners as he leads here and puts Abbott a lap down.
And how about Terrell has company? Stefan Marinac, points leader, is in second position and on the bumper of the 7 every time he goes to a corner.
And how about this? The Rhinestone Boy, who we see every Monday night in the Full Throttle Cup Series, getting that 44 machine up there in 3rd position. Haven't heard much action from Campbell tonight, but I tell you what, the car looks pretty good in the front. Maybe a little cosmetic damage towards the back end of that thing, but hey, who doesn't?
Who doesn't indeed?
Who doesn't have any damage? I mean, but look at 29.
Close to clean.
Look at that 29 car, Dakota.
All over the bumper. Oh, he's going to make contact with a 7. He wants to go. 45 laps remaining here, Keaton. 44 at the line.
Out front, you've got the Muscle Milk Man. Behind him, Fearless Racing. Stefan Marinac. Trying to get that center drive off, Dakota. As you can tell, he looks like he's shifting maybe perhaps down into the corner and getting that drive off pretty good. Out of the corner there as he looks underneath. Can't find the room.
I think if Terrell keeps doing what he's doing, he's got to drive off the corner the way he's dominant in the corner. And Marinac cannot get that. He's losing so much time off. When it comes to getting into the corner, it looks like Marinac is just throwing the car in there deep. And that's how he's making up all his time. It's keeping him there, but it's not enough to, help him win the race, I don't think, unless he boots the 7 out of the way.
Chad, as the front 3 leaders continue to ride around Martinsville and count the laps down, we mentioned John Abbott having to come down and serve a black flag. I tell you what, you talk to the crew chief, he's not very happy.
Yeah, guys, not happy at all. The crew chief on the number 10 car, he was very angry with John on that restart there, but they went ahead and changed left side tires since they had to come down pit road anyways, and John is back out on the racetrack right now and is 1 lap down.
And he is 1 lap down, Dakota, but he's behind Bo McGuire. So if a caution were to fall now, Bo McGuire would actually be given the lucky dog unless John Abbott can try to find a way around him.
30 laps remaining. 29's the line.
Oh, 43 machine. Doug Roth being turned around, Dakota, 10th position. Bo McGuire would get into the back door of that STP car. And the rest is somewhat history.
All right, now we were just talking about this. If the caution comes up, Bo McGuire gets the lucky dog. Guess who was involved on the caution?
Oh, no. Bo McGuire.
So that should hand that to John Abbott. John Abbott, I believe.
What a break. I tell you what, John Abbott, he can't have great luck, but you got to deem that good luck, because you're right, Dakota. Bo McGuire, if you're caught up in the accident, you will not be given the lucky dog. Now, will the case be that no one gets the lucky dog, or will it be that John Abbott will receive the lucky dog for being the next guy a lap down? What's the scenario on that?
I don't quite know, but I do know the guy to ask, and we're trying to get him up here. Race official Greg Netherwood joining us up here in the broadcast booth. And Greg, we're a little puzzled here. We wanted to make sure that we're clear on this lucky dog rule. Will lucky dog go to John Abbott because McGuire was involved in the incident?
That's incorrect. We actually don't have a transferable lucky dog. If the driver that causes the yellow is a lucky dog, then no lucky dog is given.
Well, holy cow, that's going to shake some things up then, Dakota. John Abbott not going to be able to get that lucky dog, but he will be the man on the, I guess, the, you know, one lap down. He'll be the man that's out front leading that group, to where if a caution were to come out in the next 5-10 laps, he'll be able to get that lucky dog back.
Yeah, it's a good thing we asked Greg Netherwood. Thank you, Greg, for stopping and clarifying that with us.
Oh, no problem. Glad to help.
That was one of your race officials here tonight, Greg Netherwood.
Now, if we don't, well, you mentioned Patrick earlier. If we got Greg in here, Pat's going to be out. You know, he's going to be all over Mr. Netherwood about how he got to get on and confirm a race control report. We'll see if we can't get Patrick in here later if something else were to shake down. But man, that's interesting. I was wondering about that call in Dakota. It looks like Doug Roth is actually in front of John Abbott, and so is McGuire. So Abbott must have come down pit road, and that changed some things up. Never mind, that just changed. John Abbott is now being shown 11th position. I love the scoring here. Doug Roth actually sitting on pit road. John Abbott will be the only man that's one lap down, Dakota.
We're all kinds of thrown off here, aren't we, Keaton?
Well, you got to give the scoring time, I guess. And again, George Wood giving me a yellow sticky note representing the cautions here tonight. 97 laps under caution. We've got just a couple of more laps to go before we go back green, so we could set a record here as we're back green flag, racing the 7 car, leading us to the green. That's the 29 machine to the outside.
And Clint Campbell, the inside of the 29, Stephen Marinac for the second position. He's still going at it just before the caution. And now this is going to give time for the 7 of Bobby Terrell to sneak away a little bit here, as it looks like Campbell does almost clear. Almost clears Marinac, because it looks like Marinac fighting back strong on the outside. And there goes Campbell around the 29.
Now C.J. Levere, part of that Fearless Racing teammate, going to look underneath. Now, remember, these guys are teammates, so play nice.
Remember, C.J. Levere, again, turned himself around earlier in the race, lost a lot of track position and time to the leader, nearly went a lap down, like at least once, and a caution saved him. He's come back through the field. What a drive for the number 23 machine.
Absolutely, Levere putting on a show tonight, but man, so is the 7 machine of Bobby Terrell. Nearly from start to finish, which we're about 21 laps away from that. Bobby Terrell's nearly led every single one of them, and I don't think or don't know if Campbell can catch him.
Would you say he's putting on a clinic?
I would say definitely. Bobby Terrell is the new number 1, as was Tiger Woods a couple of weeks ago when he took home the Cup. In dramatic fashion, Bobby Terrell leading 168 laps. That's pretty impressive, Dakota.
That it is.
Now, the thing would be, Dakota, would be to see who led the most laps. Would it be the race car at the end, or is it going to be Bobby Terrell?
Huh. Well, I'll tell you what, 19 laps remaining here. Black close to the finish line. Bobby Terrell looks to 3 and 4. He's going to take 18 laps remaining here when he's crossing the start-finish line, as he now works the middle of the front straightaway here, Keaton.
And how about this story? Jose Gonzalez, the man out of Puerto Rico. You can also catch him Monday nights at the Full Throttle Cup Series. Racing, having fun here on a Thursday night. Jose Gonzalez out of Puerto Rico sits 5th on the racetrack currently, Dakota. But he would start all the way back from 30th. So a man on a mission, 25 spots, is Jose Gonzalez.
Jose Gonzalez is one of those guys where you can always look at him and say, where did he come from at the end of a race? I mean, a lot of the times, if he's not up there leading early, you don't see this guy until the closing laps, and then all of a sudden it's like, where did he come from? How was he that fast? Jose Gonzalez on a mission as he is in the 5th position trying to chase down the 29. That's Stephen Marinac for the 4th position. and they're all chasing C.J. LeVere, who's chasing Glenn Campbell, who is chasing Bobby Terrell with 16 laps remaining.
Just a quick update on the comers here tonight that we mentioned in the broadcast. Is Glenn Campbell is around in turns 3 and 4. He's going to be able to save it, no caution. But Nathan Bowers, one of the most consistent finishers so far this season, he finished 8th, 7th, and 12th. Remember, in the last 3 races, Bowers would finish, or be in the position currently right now, 32nd. Rhett McBride, also one of those guys consistently finishing on the lead lap, Dakota, finished 11th, 14th, and 16th in the last 3 races. Rhett McBride, right now, 28th. So the comers, ain't nowhere to be found tonight in the top 16.
And I heard an engine go somewhere on the racetrack. I'm not quite sure where it was, but there was an engine that let go, so somebody's day definitely ended.
And the 2 teammates getting closer and closer together. C.J. LeVere, Stefan Marinac, they got to be careful here, play nice. But meanwhile, Bobby Terrell, he's got about 2, 3 now, Colin, as he works underneath Monahan. He's got 3 lap cars behind him, and that's plenty of wiggle room.
What I believe we have 12 laps remaining, 11 to go at the line, which he's going to cross as he works to 3-4. He'll cross that coming off of turn number 4, and in the middle of straightaway, you know, he's not far away from 10 laps to go with the big gap he has. I want to say Bobby Terrell, if we don't have a caution, could have this locked up if he doesn't get involved in an accident in front of him with lap cars or something, and he doesn't miss his line or spin the car out by himself like we saw some cars do. Yeah, I mean, he could be the car to beat right now.
Third place. And then let's go down to Chad Dalton, who's on the road, who's got an update on the 67 of Brian Harvey out of Foster City, California, sitting 5th in points. Chad, what's going on?
Yeah, Dakota just mentioned somebody blew an engine, and that would be Brian Harvey in the number 67 car. Was going down the back straightaway, and the motor just let go, so he is taking it behind the wall, and his day is finished.
Wow. So Dakota, the 5, except for Eric Brundys, Stefan Marinac, who's currently 4th and 5th respectively, are all pretty much out of this race, out of the top 20. Back there in the back, Matt LaCrosse, Monahan, and Harvey now.
I think I heard just another engine going now, and I want to say that might have been the one at Clint Monahan. It was the one at Clint Monahan. His engine is now gone.
He sits 4th in points. Monahan does.
He cautions out. That could be for him for stopping on the track there.
And it was the one machine in 9th position. You'll see him in that Zaxby Chevrolet come to a complete stop. Into the turn 1 here. And that's really probably going to upset Bobby.
Well, here's what we got to say. Here comes Bobby, and he's gonna have maybe 3 or 4 laps to hold this lead off when we go back to Green Flag Racing. How about Jose Gonzalez? He's up to, I want to say he's actually in the he was 3rd position right now. How about that? And Stefan Marinac, points leader, up in 4th. Eric Brundy's back here in 5th. We've got some heavy hitters up here, and David Landon, remember him? We was talking about him being in the 30s to 26th position earlier. He's up nearly 10 positions or so from where he was earlier. Still 6 laps down, 7 laps down, but in 17th position. And he's one of those guys that could really, he seemed like he had one of the better cars out there, so he could maybe get in this group and play around with them a little bit.
Searching and itching for his first win of the season, Bobby Terrell. Last week at Kentucky, finished 14th. He would start 5th. This week, started on the pole, led over 150 laps so far. Could be the winner tonight, or we could see C.J. LeVere sneak a little move on the outside, or could see the Puerto Rico man, Jose Gonzalez, maybe give a little bit of a serial bump to the muscle milk machine in front of him, possibly, Dakota?
Honestly, I don't know what to expect here. It's short track racing with the Real Sim Racing Asphalt Assault Series. Anything could happen here, Keaton. But I think we do. And Wednesday night series we do.
And one thing to point out here, Dakota, let's get George Wood on the calculator here. 197 lap just completed. The lights are still on the pace car, so that means we've still got 2 to go. If they were to delay the green, I believe it will end under caution. They can't delay the green here. This is going to be interesting.
Yeah, I don't think they will delay the green. Won't have much of a race here, though. It's a small shootout here.
Well, they've thrown me about 5 curveballs here with delaying the green. John Abbott coming up on race control currently now. I think he's letting them know, guys, don't wave it, don't wave it. As the pace car lights are off, 198 on the board, 3 to go, 2 to go at the line.
Nearly there, Michael Keaton.
Going to be 2 fingers in the air this time by as they exit turn 4. Down the backstretch, the 7 machine, Bobby Terrell. Some call him Bobby Terrell. The 23 machine, C.J. LeVere to the outside. Out of turn 3, Dakota. Into turn 4. Here we go. This is it.
And Terrell's away! Big jump. He's going to leave. The 23, C.J. LeVere, kind of behind him, but LeVere, he's not having anything of it. He's driving in the corner really deep. He's trying to stick with him, but he's going to lose time off the corner. Behind him, Jose Gonzalez and Stefan Marinak go at it side by side for the 3rd position, diving into turn number 3. It's Marinak on the as they make contact. Marinak is around. He saves it. Woo! What a save by Marinak.
What a save indeed. Marinak on the outside of Jose Gonzalez with a nice fancy save, but LeVere's there in turn 2. Then he's going to lose it coming off the corner. He was there to cut all over the back door of Bobby Terrell in 2, but he couldn't quite hang on. Here comes LeVere, one last chance. No sirree. Bobby Terrell wins, and now Jose Gonzalez to the inside of the 29, and he'll take 3rd.
And that'll be Stefan Marinak in 4th. Eric Brundy's in the 5th position, Keaton.
So the top 5 again, Bobby Terrell, C.J. LeVere, Jose Gonzalez, Stefan Marinak, and Eric Brundy's. Putting on quite a show, and I'm glad we got to see a green flag run, and I'll tell you what, Marinak made one heck of a save to keep that car in a good spot tonight as Jose Gonzalez rubs doors with Terrell the Muscle Milk Man. Bobby getting it done on victory lane here tonight. Dakota, what a race.
Just, yeah, what a race. Yes, Keaton, what a race.
Absolutely. Bobby, here comes Bobby, the man who would lead over 150 laps. Bobby taking the victory donuts. Bobby, are those cream-filled donuts or cherry-filled donuts?
They're cherry-filled.
Cherry to match the red on that car, huh?
Yes, sir.
Man, what a race, Bobby. You know, you've been hunting for that win pretty much, I guess we could say all season long, your first win of the season. 6 races into it, and man, I bet it feels good to get it at Martinsville.
Oh, yeah, to get that monkey off my back, it sure does.
And, of course, Bobby, it didn't come easy. You know, with about 10 to go, you got off to a big lead there. You had about 3 lap cars separating you and Marinak and LeVere, and then the caution would come out, and I bet you face-palmed onto the desk.
Well, I was hoping it would go green the rest of the way, but it didn't. I knew if I could get a good jump that, you know, that it would be hard for him to get around me those last 3 laps.
And let's talk about the last 3 laps where we did, or the last 2 laps when we went back green. We looked and saw C.J. LeVere. He was there. He was on the back door, then into 2, and then coming off the corner, it looked like you had the steam. Going into 3, C.J. would give it all she had, couldn't quite get it there, and you would come off 4 with the checkered flag in your hand. Again, congratulations on the victory, Bobby.
Oh, thanks a lot, guys. I'd like to thank Inside Sim Racing, ETV, you guys, RSR, and then my new sponsor, Muscle Milk, that come on board after Vegas. And like I said, it feels good to get the monkey off my back.
Well, there you have it, folks. Bobby Terrell, monkey off the back here at Martinsville Speedway. He'll pick up the win here, 200-lap mayhem race. And when we return, we're going to talk to C.J. LeVere, the man who was there but couldn't quite get around him. And then the man out of Puerto Rico, the 26 car who kind of came from nowhere, back in no man's land, 30th position he started tonight, and he would bring home that Chevrolet in 3rd. when we return, we'll have them to talk to. See you in a minute. Landon Huffman coming to a comfortable lead, coming out of 2. He's got about 8 car lengths, put it half a second over Dwayne Vincent as Chad Cole works the number 2 spot.
Time is running out. Vincent's got it. Cole wants it in the wall. Chevrolet puts the bumper to the 13 of Vincent. Vincent not backing down. He's in second. You know, when we got 1 car on the bottom, the 10 cars.
InsideSimRacing.tv, the fastest show on the internet. Sim racing news and reviews since 2007, with new shows every week.
And welcome back again, Martinsville Speedway. Here tonight, Real Sim Racing Asphalt Assault Series, sponsored by Inside Sim Racing and Derek Spear Designs. I'm Michael Keaton. Dakota Ehrman is now standing by your second place finisher, the 23 of C.J. LeBaire.
LeBaire, it looked like early on you were leading the race. You went to a corner, shifted down, and turned the car around. We couldn't tell if it was on purpose or not, but man, you had to come back from a lot to be able to finish second with everything that happened. You nearly going a lap down, having to catch a caution to stay on the lead lap. What was all that like for you?
It was a heck of a race. A lot to overcome. My crew chief, my spotter Ben, he told me early off in the race that the guys were shifting down, and I didn't get much practice here in Martinsville, so I didn't know. When I got out in the lead there, I started shifting and realizing it was way faster. I downshifted a little too early one time, and we went for a ride. Luckily, we didn't get too much damage. We were able to get the car fixed. We got into another wreck, got the car fixed again, got caught and went a lap down, got our lap back, and got up to second. It's just, I got to hand it off to my team, all my friends, man. These guys, we practice a lot together, Team Fearless, and without them guys, I don't think I would do as good as I did. And my spotter, he's awesome. To have somebody sit there and do what he does, I can't ask for anybody to do better than he does.
CJ, man, when you were coming down, you had that final little stretch of laps, you know, just about 2 laps of racing, that you had the possibility of getting around Bobby Terrell. Did you think you could get around him or no?
No, I knew I didn't have anything for Bobby. I actually had a lot of damage. I had repaired 3 minutes worth of damage. The car was still a little messed up. I'm actually really happy with the second place. After the damage, I was just looking for a top 10, and we got second out of it, so we'll take that.
And CJ, is there anyone else you'd like to thank here?
I'd like to thank ETV, HD Radio Network, RSR, Derek Spears Designs, Inside Sim Racing, all these sponsors that put this stuff together, all you guys that do all the hard work, man. It is awesome, and I appreciate it.
And LeBaire, will we see you in the Full Throttle Cup Series here this Sunday at Martinsville?
Oh, you can count on it. We'll probably have a little better car for there.
And just one more question, you know, involving that. Will you guys be shifting there? I mean, that's something we haven't quite seen here at a place like Martinsville before.
We actually haven't taken the Ford out on the track yet. We're about to do that here in the next hour or so. I don't think we will, but I didn't think we were here, so you never know.
Well, there you have it from your second place finisher. Now we're moving down to Chad Dalton, who's standing by with our third place finisher, Jose Gonzalez.
Absolutely, Dakota. A strong third place finish tonight for Jose Gonzalez. Remember, he started back in 30th position, so quite a drive to the front. Jose, tell us about that race tonight.
Yeah, I started out 30th. I didn't. I couldn't qualify. I didn't have enough time. I was about to cross the line, and the time ran out. We just had 5 minutes. We usually have 10. So basically, I had to work my way up, letting people wreck, and I'm surviving it. I did go a lap down because I had to pit, and people weren't keeping up with the pace car. So I didn't notice, and I guess I got passed by the pace car, and I didn't notice. So then I had the lucky dog, and after that, I was just surviving the wrecks. And right there at the finish, you know, I was surrounded by teammates. I was surrounded by CJ in front, and I had Stefan, and you know, I was trying to be careful. I had better tires, but I did have my toe a little screwed from a little ding I had before. But I'm happy with the third, man.
Absolutely, as you should be. And one thing that I do want to ask you, we've been talking about shifting or not. Were you one of the cars that were shifting out there, or were you just that dominant and without the shifts?
I was shifting. When I was using third gear to slow down faster. So if I went inside a car, I would shift, you know, brake hard, but use the third as a brake. And but if I'm in line, if I was in line just riding along, I would just stay in fourth gear and coast it around.
All right, and finally, Jose, who makes it happen for you?
Well, I gotta thank Hippie Dog, hippiespaintshop.com. Last year, I was riding by myself. I didn't have many other drivers to share around information with. So I got to thank Doug for inviting me to the Fearless Racing team. Now I'm part of Fearless Racing, along with CJ, which I also have to thank. We share a lot of information back and forth, and we practice together. So it's nice to be second and third here together.
Well, once again, congratulations on a third-place finish tonight. And Michael, Dakota, we saw a great one here tonight. Back up to you guys.
Absolutely, and one would crack the top 5 in points, that being C.J. Rivera, and one would crack the top 10 tonight in points, that would be Jose Gonzalez. He sits 7th in points. And again, pretty decent night for the top 10 in points. Stefan Marinac would finish 4th. Matt Lacrosse, 2nd in points coming into tonight, would finish 22nd. Brundys would pick up 5th. Clint Monahan would fall to 21st. Brian Harvey would finish 24th. Joey Hilton, man who sits 6th in points, currently now 5th, would finish 6th tonight. White Wolf Jr., good run for him and his group. He'll finish 8th. C.J. Rivera, we mentioned him and talked to him. Dakota, you did. 2nd position for him tonight. Rhett McBride would be the man who finished worse in the top 10. He finished 28th. And Jimmy North would bring that St. Paul, Minnesota Chevrolet home in 12th tonight. And he will continue to run in the top 10 in points. Dakota, next week's going to be fun. Next Thursday night, Real Sim Racing Asphalt Assault Series.
Can't wait. I believe we'll be at, I want to say we'll be at Texas Motor Speedway. I don't know, the schedule's kind of, thrown off with this off week with the Monday night series, so they're going to be kind of at different tracks for the next few weeks. But either way, it is Texas Motor Speedway, I heard, and that's going to be interesting. I got to say, I got to, look at some of the drivers, pre-testing at Texas already, and I have a feeling it's going to be a race. We might see a lot of slipping and sliding there in casual Texas racing.
And a lot faster speeds, I mind you. And again, we'd like to thank all of our sponsors, Bob Earl Racing, Gary Mercer Truck, and Inside Sim Racing for tonight's event, ETV Live, the ETV Live 2013 lineup, iLeagueRace.com, the new iRacing Today radio show, ETV Live Radio, HD Radio Network, and Derek Spear Designs also in part with sponsoring tonight's event with the Real Sim Asphalt Assault Series. I'm Michael Keaton, Dakota Ehrman, George Wood down on pit road running some statisticians work for us, and of course Chad Dalton and John Wessling pushing the buttons for us tonight and the good framework and camera work. We'll see you guys next week, next Thursday, Texas Motor Speedway. Here we come.